Welcome to Cougnation. Tonight we recap highlights and results from across Cougar athletics.
Get to know one of our senior Cougar athletes.
And we catch up with the ultimate club team. All that and more here on Cougnation.
The end is never the end.
Touchdown, Washington State.
A test no man could be prepared for. A new hell he must conquer and destroy. A new level of growth he must confront himself. The machine and the ghost within.
It is, in fact, Anderson. Anderson able to hold on for the victory.
I'm Brady Bonser.
And I'm Marissa Huff, and welcome to this week's episode of Cougnation, the all-new sports show that is all Coug all the time.
As the nice weather approaches, that means spring training for football is underway. Between March 22nd and April 24th, there will be 15 practices, giving players their first opportunity to play under the new head coach, Mike Leach. Cougar football is returning 6 offensive starters and 7 defensive starters, along with several promising newcomers. As spring training wraps up, Cougar football fans can look forward to the annual Crimson and Gray game, which will be held April 21st at Joe Albee Stadium in Spokane.
Wonder if Mike Leach's Leach Beach will have any effect on the players' running skills.
I hope so. I want these boys in tip-top shape. Is the tennis team still handing out whoopings?
They are indeed. They're on a nice little streak right now. The WSU women's tennis continues their streak of upsets after defeating number 27 Arizona State. Freshman Charlotte Koning's win at number 5 singles sealed the deal for the Cougs, earning their second straight upset win. This was the Cougs' first victory in 19 matches over the Sun Devils. Koning closed out the match, taking out ASU's Joanna Smith for the final point. The women improved their record to 12-4 and 2-2 in conference play. The Cougs look to continue this streak as they take on the rest of the Pac-12. The women are doing well.
Yeah, the freshmen are coming up clutch.
Not so much on the men's golf side, though. Brady, what happened?
Washington State men's golf lost a pair of matches during day one of the 2012 Callaway Collegiate Match Play Championship at the Concession Golf Club in Florida. The 16th seeded Cougars lost to top-seeded Arkansas and the 8th seeded Iowa. Redshirt freshman Sang Lee played well, winning both of his matches 3-1. Next, the Cougars take on 12th-seeded South Florida. On the women's side, the Lady Cougars finished the Dr. Donnie Thompson Invitational tied for 7th place, which makes it the second top 10 finish for the women's team in 2012. Women's golf travels to California next for the Antietam Invitational. Yeah, that's not the only team that had a tough weekend, is it?
It is not. Cougar baseball is definitely suffering right now. Cougar baseball suffered tough losses after being swept by number 6 Arizona. The Wildcats rallied from a Cougar lead of 5-0, scoring 7 runs in the 5th inning to beat the Cougs 8-7. In the second game of the doubleheader, the Cougs lost 12-9. The Coug bats weren't quite enough to take down the Wildcats, but they were definitely aggressive in the batter's box. Taylor Ard hit his first career triple, and Derek Jones hit his first cycle since Derek Bruce in 2002. Cougars are busy this week in athletics.
Yeah.
What's going on with track and field?
Men's and women's track and field boasted a strong performance at the Dusty Lane Open Meet at Spokane Falls Community College. The Washington State University men brought home 5 wins, while the women's compiled 7 impressive victories. Following the meet, head coach Rick Sloan said, "This meet gave us a pretty good idea of where we are in our performances and decided who we will have competing for us the next 2 weeks." At the NCAA Indoor Championships, Stephen Scott Ellis, a name that we've become familiar with here at Cougnation, placed 7th in the triple jump. WSU Track and Field travels to Los Angeles later this month for the USC Trojan Invitational. Whew, I bet those Cougars are looking forward to some Cali sunshine.
I am jealous. I need more vitamin D. It's a little lacking here in Pullman with all the rain and snow.
Yep. Well, our own Kase Brammer had a chance to get to know one of the field athletes of the track and field squad a little better. Kase.
Every athlete has a story. Not necessarily something that makes them better than somebody else, but something that sets them apart as an individual. Maybe it's where they're from, maybe it's how they got here. This is the story of track and field athlete Joe Bartlett.
You may have seen Joe on campus or at Valhalla where he works, but Joe is originally from Reno, where he experienced success as a young athlete.
I won state in the shot 3 times and in the disc twice.
With such a big frame, it's hard not to notice Joe's tattoos.
First one for my older brother, it's a cross on my chest. That was my first one when I was 18. And then after that, I got my last name on my back. What came next? God, I got this one next. It's a poem about family on my arm. Then I got the guardian angel. You know, it symbolizes someone's always watching out for you. Got blessed down my side, because obviously I'm blessed, you know, going to a Pac-12 school and healthy, so you know.
After high school, Joe made the decision to come to WSU.
Came on a visit during spring break, and it just seems like an easy place to succeed. You know, the town is small. It's got enough to do to keep you occupied, but enough to where you won't get led astray.
Joe has found a new home at Washington State University. Like every Cougar, athlete or not, he's accepted into our family. I'm Kase Brammer, Cougnation.
Brady, you've probably recognized Joe as a bouncer at Valhalla.
Unfortunately, yes.
Thought so. Men's basketball hosted the quarterfinals of the CBI tournament in Beasley Coliseum against the Wyoming Cowboys. Brock Modem led the way as usual with 25 of the Cougars' 61, beating Wyoming by 20. This isn't strange for Modem going into this game. He was averaging roughly 20 points per game in Pac-12 play and had an average field goal percentage of 55%. Modem, along with the rest of the Cougar team, continue to work toward the CBI championships and a promising next season. Cougs are looking good in postseason.
Yeah, I just wish they would have played like this during the regular season. Washington State University's ultimate team hit the field over spring break, finishing with 2 wins and 2 losses at a tournament in the Tri-Cities. I was able to catch up with the team before they left.
As spring approaches and the weather warms, almost everyone is excited to get outdoors. However, the weather in Pullman is never certain and not everyone is waiting around. WSU's own Ultimate Club team has been hitting the field all winter, preparing for the spring season. But what is it about Ultimate that draws people in?
I would say the camaraderie. At first, it was definitely the athleticism and the versatility of it. It's kind of like basketball and football and soccer combined. But the more I grew to know it and go to tournaments and stuff, definitely the people involved make it the awesome sport it is.
While attending one of the weekly practices, I was able to see the passion that goes into the workouts, drills, and competition. As tournament season gets underway, the team has high hopes for success.
Last season, we actually only had 3 returners, so our whole team is pretty much comprised of freshmen and sophomores who hadn't really played before, and we were actually able to make the regionals for the first time in WSU's history. And so this year, we have a lot of expectations, a lot of optimism for the team, and we're really hoping to get back to that and maybe, you know, go even further than we did.
Reporting for Cougnation, I'm Brady Bonser.
Intense. Brady, what was it like catching up with the guys?
Well, they are passionate, to say the least.
Wrapping up news for this episode, we can't let March go by without talking more basketball. Adam?
Thanks, Marissa. I'm Adam Loewy. He's Robin Dich. And welcome to the 4th installment of the opinion segment here on Cougnation. Today, we're talking the CBI tournament for men's Washington State basketball. Robin, start us off. What are your thoughts on this tournament so far?
You know, I don't know what Ken Bone's trying to do, but this is kind of embarrassing as a fan and being a Coug. I mean, the CBI is the not in tournament.
I don't have any problems with this. Oregon State also, who did really well in the Pac-12 tournament, made a huge run.
They're also 7-11 in the Pac-12, which is one of the worst conferences in the league, and we had a losing record going in. I just don't know what Ken Bone's trying to do.
But also, it's great for the young guys such as Devontae Lacey and the veterans and seniors such as Abe Logwick, Charlie Inquist, and Marcus Capers, who are all about to leave Washington State University. I think it's a great way for them to go out on top.
Do you want to risk injury to Brock Moner and all of them? Like, we have another season with those guys, and those guys have been great. But that's all the time we have in this segment of Cougnation. Follow us on Twitter at WSU Cougnation and give us your opinions on what you thought of our topic. I'm Robin Dich.
I'm Adam Loewy.
And back to you.
Thanks, Robin. Well, that's all we have for this week on Cougnation. Make sure you tune in next time for a brand new episode and the recent highlights and news on our favorite Cougar teams.
To keep updated on Cougnation happenings in between episodes, like our Facebook page and follow our Twitter account at WSU Cougnation.
Thanks again for joining us. I'm Brady Bonser.
And I'm Marissa Huff. Good night and go Cougs.